Late Night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Craftin. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, coming to you from Wisconsin, and we're going to pretend that it's still Monday, June 1st at 11:59 p.m., give or take 6 minutes. Let me see if we've got audio. Maybe? Oh, we do. Woohoo! Let me get my other device caught up here. And we'll see what we can play with here. There we go. I know I'm a few minutes late, so let's just see if we can give it a minute or two for folks to find me. And in the meantime, I'll change some of my settings. Make sure I can see all of the chats in case we have any visitors that we don't really want to welcome. So if this is your first time joining me, if you're joining on a replay, let me know where you're joining from. Welcome. If you've been here before and are back, welcome back. And I will get to some announcements in just a second here. Hi, Roz. I'm glad to see you got some crafting time in today. I thought it was funny when you made the comment that you forgot your, what did you call it? Your bling. And you know what I was thinking? I was thinking if you got Wink Stella, you could just use all those little flower heads as your bling. You have to retrain him to leave you alone. Macman does pretty good. He usually, if I've got gals over though, he'll usually pop his head in and make sure that they know he's here. He's always really friendly though. Everybody likes to see him. So how much time did you get to spend crafting? I'm glad you were able to work on the challenge stuff. Eight cards. Awesome. That's great. So from 9:30 to 2, so he's probably had breakfast and then he gets a little cranky because he hasn't had lunch yet, or or what's the deal with that? That's funny. All right, I'm just going to whiz through some of these announcements. We'll see if other people are going to start jumping on. And if it's just you and I, that's okay too. You know, when you're creating a new card, or for me at least, The first one always seems like it takes longer. It's like I have to get warmed up. I got to get in my zone, you know? Oh, he likes to putter. Does he putter in your room though? Do you have designated crafting space that he stays out of, or do you have like joint space that you have to share? Because I'm glad I don't have to share my crafting space. Although I do have a television in here, so every once in a while, if there's something on, hey Juju, every once in a while if there's something on, he'll come in here and he'll watch it while I try to craft. So anyway, all right, a couple of quick announcements. Don't forget about Paper Pumpkin. The subscription period ends June 10th. But don't forget about your add-on dies either, because he needs to keep out. I put a sign on my door so that when I have my door closed, it says, like, I think it says, like, recording in progress, enter only if you must or something. He laughed the first time he saw it. I need to change it up so I can tell him I'm, you know, like in a meeting, because sometimes I have like Zoom meetings and stuff, but I don't know if he'd read it anymore. I'd have to make it very different so that it would catch his attention. But anyway, these dies with this June kit, it looks like one of the samples that was kind of previewed. It came through my feed, I think. But they use the wonderful and the flowers. So I think I actually might have taken a screenshot of it. I don't remember. But June 10th for that. And we are almost time to get the new product of the month. You don't have a door. Okay. That's okay. I get it. Because before we had built the addition for my parents, my crafting space was a very small area upstairs that had all kinds of other things in it, or down on like the kitchen table in our dining area. We don't have a formal dining room, but and if I had people over, that's where we were. So they had to like see the whole house, and he had to vacate if I had people over. So it's nice that I have a designated space now. So at least you have your own space though. And if you can shoo him out, all the better, right? You could always threaten that you're going to put him to work cutting things, but then he might cut them wrong, and that might not work either. Yeah, Juju, I wondered if yours was a separate space or not. I'm very lucky that I can close the door if I want to. Hello, Yuda, welcome. Okay, so the craft room is open to the dining room. Oh, well, that's good. He likes to help out. Macman will only do it like on the down low if I'm like pressed for time and I have something that I have to get done. And I can, he'll die cut stuff. He'll tell you he never does. But he does. He does. So anyway, product of the month is coming soon. You can get this for $5 if you have a qualifying purchase in the United States. That's $75. Craft class should go on sale tomorrow. So like 45 minutes Utah time will be midnight. So we can add this to our cart soon. And that's for a virtual class on June 18th using the Scenic Coast products. So there'll be 4 projects. I don't know what they are. It looks like from the thumbnails, it looks like they're probably cards, but they've usually done like a home decor item or a box or something too. So I'm not sure. These might all be cards. I don't know. But the creative people from Stampin' Up! Do basically a master class. It's really fun. If you've not done one before, give it a try sometime. Normally I try to offer a watch party for that, but on the 18th, I will not be in my studio space. So for my locals, Next week, Wednesday, we've got coffee and a card early. I've got, is that next week? Yeah, not this week, but next week. And then the following Monday, it just seems like these are really close together, but that would be right. The following Monday, I've got a private class where we're doing the virtual album retreat, kind of like a replay. And then I will be away from my studio space for a little bit starting on the 17th. Have I mentioned where I'm going yet? We'll get to that at some point in the next couple of weeks. I've got another class on the 21st and then my Monday open studio time. So anybody local to me, put it on your calendar. The 22nd we'll do open studio time. I will not be having a scrappy Saturday this month just because there's too many things in there. And then we've got family from Arizona again coming towards the end of the month. So that'll be kind of busy and I'll be a little distracted. We have, let's go to this one. We've got our Late Night Lovelies Happy Mail Club is what I'm calling it. I've started compiling all of the addresses. I'm putting them in an Excel spreadsheet that I'm just going to share as a PDF. I know some people are a little concerned with it being a Google Doc. Some people aren't real fans of Google Doc things, and I get it, or a Google spreadsheet, either way. So I plan to get that email out hopefully tomorrow. I know it's June 1st and we're starting June 1st, but you can join anytime. So if you're not part of this club, just shoot me an email at LoriMacari@gmail.com. Let me, the subject line, just put Happy Mail and then include your mailing address with the zip code, your real name, if I don't know what your real name is. If your handle is not really clear. And I will get that distributed. And Roz, I believe you did. I have the month. I know it's April. I'd have to check my email. If you emailed me, let me see if I put it on this other... No, I just think it's April. Oh, the 10th. Okay, I'll add that on here right now. And you're going to be 6'3", I believe, correct? I think that's the dilly. All right, so anybody else who's catching this on a replay, if you want to be part of this club, there are no real rules. Okay, you were just 33. When we were talking about, or 63, 33, whatever. It's just a number. When we were talking the other night, I couldn't keep up if you had been 63 and were your birthday. So you just turned 63 in April, this last April, right? That must be why I wrote the 63 part down. So anyway, if you want to be part of this, there's not a whole lot of rules. Make cards, send cards. We've got global people participating. So we may have Canada, we may have Australia, we may have other countries. Go to the post office if you want to mail to these global crafters with us, and get yourself some global stamps. They'll be a little bit more pricey than doing your local mailing, but if you don't want to mail to the global partners, you don't have to. You pick who you mail to. All right. So you can use Stampin' Up stuff. You can use non-Stampin' Up stuff. You can use current stuff. You can use old stuff in your stash. I don't really care. And it's not really a swap. You don't have to send a certain number of cards to a certain number of people by a certain day of the month. You send it when it works for you. Okay. And you send to whoever you want. And I think once we start sending these around, I think it's going to be fun just sharing Happy Mail and letting each other know, hey, I thought about you today and here's a card to prove it. So let's just send out some Happy Mail. Alrighty, let me move those over to there. And then we have our sketch challenge Sundays. Okay. We started this May 3rd. I put them, I got my binder going here. All of the sketches are available. Thank you, Yuta. Did you send that just now or earlier? Because I did get a couple of them. Either way, I will look for it. I'm pretty good at checking my mail. Yeah, you must have just sent it recently because I don't have it in the stuff here. So I will look for that. Perfect. Perfect. And my phone did ding, so that was probably your email coming in. Yep, it's there. Aw, you have the same birthday as my mom. Nice. So anyway, the sketches are from Stampin' Up. Oh, I'm glad. And then each week I'm picking, or like this Sunday, my granddaughter selected our sketch that we're working on. And oh, I need to highlight that we've done this one now. So then each week we'll work on this sketch on Sunday. These are the cards that we worked on yesterday, loosely interpreted. And Roz, I like how you put the little circle in yours. So did you do that because of this one last night? I thought that was fun for the sketch too. Oh no, you did it for a different sketch. You did it for sketch 3, I think. Right? No, sketch, where am I going here? This one, sketch 39. You did it for this one, right? Fun. So anyway, we'll do the sketches on Sunday. We'll work through at least one project interpreting that sketch throughout the week. You do your interpretation, take a picture, post it in the comment that goes with the sketch. I still have to post these from last night. We were out doing the car replacement stuff today and getting in and out of the car a lot yesterday, and today I'm feeling a little slowed down today. So I'll try to get these out tomorrow. I'll try to get that mailing list out tomorrow. But yeah, then every week we'll do that sketch. You'll post yours at the end of the month. Everybody that participates, I will put on my wheel of names, and I will specially send you some happy mail. So separate from our happy mail group, but I will send you some happy mail. Sometimes it might include a little gift. Sometimes maybe it'll just be a card. But either way, it'll be some happy mail. Yeah, and see, I don't do that very often, but it's such a fun idea, Roz, cutting it out. So awesome. So if you need more information on the sketches, you can go back to any of the Sundays in May. I think we talked about it pretty much. Yuta sent me one of hers, which I thought was super fun. And if you want to find the sketches so that you've got all of them and can keep track as well of like which ones you've maybe done, if you go to my webpage or your own, if you're a demonstrator, you can go to your webpage, click on shop, go down to ways to craft, and in the second paragraph, it's on the left side of the page, there's a link here for free layout templates, and that will take you to this PDF and you can print that off. All right, so let's get down to business because you guys don't want to hear me talking anymore, right? So I was playing around with the Sunset Coast. Yeah, Sunset Coast stuff. I really love this paper. It's gorgeous. And I had actually thought about maybe using the Sunset Coast to do our sketch yesterday, but just opted to do that Pretty Party kit, I think is what it was called. Pretty Party. But tonight I thought I'm going to go ahead and use this because I had this all over my craft table. So you can see I cut out this piece, but we're going to take a look at some other things that we can do with this. Okay. So I also have my Spotlight on Nature circle dies out because I saw another demonstrator who had nested these together, and I think she ran it through her die machine together. I'm not going to do that just because they kind of overlap and I don't want to ruin my dies. It might be fine, but I'm not going to risk it. So I'm going to cut them individually. But I thought this would be a fun way. So instead of just cutting this and having it on a whole card front, because this is going to just cut out all of the edge pieces and leave part of it in your paper. I thought it would be fun to do like a little circle, and we'll play with some color. And then I just want to do another fun technique, and we'll just see how it works. Because when I cut this one, you saw that too, Roz? Did she overlap them and cut them at the same time? I don't even remember who that was. But it just kind of went through my feed, and I'm like, oh, that's a fun idea. That was like, I don't know, within the last week, I think I saw that. So she laid them together. I'm just leery to do that because mine overlap just a little, and I do not want to ruin my dies. So I'm going to cut mine separately. I'm going to run them through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine separately. So when I looked at this, and I thought that would be fun to cut out of this paper. And I just thought I really liked some of the colors that they have, not even to keep it intact. Yeah, I don't want to break the dies. I don't want to bend them. I've only bent one of my dies, and that was that flowery one that was the product of the month, because it got caught up in the corner and it crinkled it, but I kind of just flattened it out by running it through a lot. I don't want to ruin my dies. So I'm going to just show you. We're going to see how this works. I don't know how it's going to turn out. We may just play with some techniques. But when I cut this out, my plan actually was to do some paper piecing. And I did a card like this, I think around Christmas time. And basically, we're not going to recognize this paper as this scene. So I'm going to cut a bunch of 1-inch strips, and then we're going to cut them diagonally. And we're going to put them on a piece of, I thought I had white here with some adhesive sheet on it. I might not have gotten that far. But I'm going to do this on an adhesive sheet too. Oh, I should do this bigger because our circle needs to go on here too. I'll need to get some bigger pieces. So let's see. That's 3.5 by 3.5. That might work. We'll take a look. So anyway, I digress. I'm going to trim this up. And I'm going to make it into 1-inch strips. And I'm just going to scooch those other pieces onto the side because I'm not actually going to use them. But once I cut this out, I thought I really should have put this on adhesive sheets because this is so delicate. To put glue on it, I'm just going to make a mess. All right, I know it. So let's just do, let's just do these in 1-inch strips. And I will probably want them to be a little shorter, but we're going to end up kind of flipping them around anyway. All right, so I kind of kept these in order. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each one of these and I'm going to cut them from opposite corner to opposite corner. And if it doesn't quite line up to the corner, like this one shifted a little bit, it's not going to matter, okay? It just won't matter. So I'm going to just kind of try to keep these a little bit in order. And this may or may not work. We'll see. I don't know. And I did have a bunch of these cut ahead of time that I could use, but I thought going through the process would be more helpful than just saying I did this, this, and this. And you can see I'm starting in the center of my strip because it's on a diagonal. I don't want to kind of jam up the corners. So I would rather just put my cutting blade down there and kind of pierce it in the center and then go up and down. And these probably don't have to stay in order. I'm just going to for kicks, because it shouldn't really matter. Now, we're going to make kind of a starburst design out of this. If it works, we'll see if it works. But let's get some adhesive on this piece, because I think that'll be all right. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. Let's just make it 4 by 4. And I can save that other piece for a sentiment. And then I'm just going to get an adhesive sheet. So these adhesive sheets are really good when you have these small, delicate designs. And there's breakout lines so you can get the backing off nicely. And the old adhesive sheets didn't have that. I don't remember them. I think they just had one kind of down the center, and now you have at least two. And if you pull it from the center, usually you won't get the glue tear away. But you just have to be kind of gentle, because sometimes it will peel up the adhesive. Sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle for me. And I don't know of a better way to do that. Really, there might be, but you know, I suppose if you pulled off just one of the strips instead of everything, it might work better, but I don't know. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to peel off this backing so that I have adhesive all over my cardstock piece. Okay. And then we're going to start taking these and just putting them on here. And I'm going to take and just flip them out, flip them around so that we're getting all of the pointy edges together. And see how that flips the design? Now the first time when I did this with just another piece of designer series paper, I did them 1 inch and 1 1/4 where I was alternating them. But I decided that just doing them 1 inch at a time was better. Now we might need some extra strips. We'll just see. And if I would have cut this down to be like, you know, 3 or 4 inches, we wouldn't get the same switch in color, because these sheets are kind of like the color shifts at the half mark. Does that make sense? So if we would have cut our strips shorter and flip-flopped them, they would be very similar in color. Like all of these blues would have been together rather than having kind of this starburst design. And I thought too about, you know, I could have just used this die and done the same thing and then just like on 2 sheets and just swapped out papers, but I just thought this might be a little easier. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. It might be, I'm going to switch these out because I had one that was too similar in color. This just might be a total flop. I don't even know. It worked on the Christmas one and it looked really good, but we covered like the whole sheet. And it seemed like we started in the center, and I'm just doing it a little bit differently here. So since I've got some extra space here, I'm going to go ahead and use some of these pieces because it was the same sheet that I cut. And I'm just going to make sure that I'm using the alternate pieces and that I'm using the ones that were just 1 inch and not 1 1/4 inches. Like this one was 1 1/4 inches, so I'm not going to use that one. And I want one that's blue here. And it's kind of a wild design, don't you think? And that one's a wider one. So this one, like I said, I ended up using 2 sheets, but I didn't make it all the way through my first sample. So now, if we put this on here, these strips were pretty close, depending on how far up you put this. They were pretty close to lined up with the design. But I figured if these were all on here like this, we could use that die and it wouldn't really matter, and we would have this cool design. Like right there, they're all pretty much lined up. They're a little off down here. But if we shift it down just a little bit more, I think it's pretty close. I'm more worried about it being close up here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off the backs. That's kind of a fun, that would make a cool turkey. Maybe. You know, I could probably use my trimmer, but I'll just do this. This will be fast enough. It doesn't have to be pretty. So the circle one that looks like a starburst actually cuts out the starburst, where the other dies, as I recall, just cut out kind of the design and left the negative space behind. We'll see. But now all of these pieces I could still use on some other card. And these don't have adhesive behind them because I only have adhesive on that square. So these I'm just going to set aside. And I might use those for something else. We'll see. And then let's get this die. And we'll line it up again. I just thought this way, it's a little putsy, but I thought it was going to work a little bit better than trying to paper piece the designs together. We'll see how it looks. Now, what I should probably do is put adhesive on the back of here too. Let's do that. Now, actually, do I want to do that, or do I want to just overlay this on here? I think I just want to overlay this on here. I don't even need to cut that out. I just need to use the right die. That one could work. All right, let me cut one of these out so that it's on adhesive sheet. Good thing I talked to myself during this, right? Try to figure out what we're doing. Just making sure we're good to go there. All right, so now with all of these pieces here, if I keep them, I'm going to be able to create a nice little sunburst that I can actually have function. Okay, because they all have adhesive on them. So maybe we should do this. Oh, there's so many possibilities. Because if I try to peel this all apart first and stick it on the paper, it might be more efficient. But it might be more of a mess too. So let's see. Let's see if I can get this off all the way. Let's see if it cut through. Pretty soon it's going to be time to get my little take your pick tool. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to peel this piece off of here. I'm going to try to leave those other pieces kind of together. So those are still kind of together with adhesive on the back, so I might be able to transfer that easily to something else. We'll see. And then this one, I've just got this little piece to take out here. And then we can line this up on here. And I'll have to put just a little bit of glue in there where I separated the cardstock, trying to get it unpeeled. This is kind of 70s-ish, eh? It doesn't line up exactly, but I think it's pretty good. We're a little off here, but maybe I can just put the sentiment over that. And then we're going to take this circle die. We'll see if that's going to be big enough. It may not be. It's going to be close. But if we do the next bigger one, it might be too big. That one's really big. Let's do this one. We'll see. If we don't like it, it's only paper, but kind of a time-consuming experiment, right? Just kind of seeing where it seems to catch. guess I'm just going to have to try to center it as best I can. And we'll hope it works out. I don't know. It looked good in my head. Okay, well, I did cut off any of the border. I guess maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we'll trim around that. Because I don't know if I like it with that edging around there. And I think I have a punch that's big enough. So let me get this out of the way. We're going to trim this down. I got it pretty centered around there though. This may not have the effect I was hoping for, but I think it's kind of fun looking. This is a little bit of a struggle. And my stylish shape circles were too small. And I think my punch is too small also. Maybe the paper piecing would have been easier. It probably wouldn't have been any shorter a process. It probably would have been tedious either way. I don't know, that looks kind of cool though. Hi, Rosemary. And even this would be kind of fun to hang on to. I don't know. Let's put that in the pile to hang on to also. All right, now let's see, what should we do with the rest of this? What should we put that on a card as? See, it's projects like this that I'm thinking, oh, I probably should have really done this whole thing and planned it out to see how it looked. But what we can do is find one of these papers that we like the back color and kind of do our sketch challenge layout. Use it on the inside, this on the inside. Oh, that could be fun. It's not centered, but we could even cut it corner to corner. That's a good idea. We'll hang on to that. All right, so let's take a look at these papers and see on the backs which ones. That could be fun. So if we pull in our sketch from Sunday, I had not intended on doing this sketch, but oh, I didn't do sketch 3 though. Yeah, we did. We did sketch 3. All right, let me get the die cutting machine out of the way. So I have a little more room to work. And then I kind of like this piece. That's kind of fun. And then I have a piece of the strawberry slush, and I also have the crushed curry. What kind of color combination do you think we should go with? Because if we follow the sketch, which would be kind of fun, We need our base, we need 3 strips, and then our circle. So our circle is going to be quite a bit bigger. And then our strips will have to decide if we want to do this. So let's say I cut these down. And I kind of like that color in there. So we'll do this at 5. And I think we did like an inch. If I do an inch and a quarter, 1, 2, 3 3/4. That's 4. Let's just do it an inch and a quarter and see. I think the crushed curry is a good choice too, just because it's going to pull out some of the yellows in here. So we wouldn't even have to put mats on that if we didn't want to. So if we use the crushed curry as the base, and we put this on here, I feel like I should have had these a little bit longer. I did that yesterday too, didn't I? So if I did those at 5, if we did this at 5 1/4, let me just try something here. And if we do these at 1 1/4, we can always get another piece of paper too if we don't like it. And then if I make these just 1 inch, so here's how, let me move some of this debris. So if we did a strawberry slush mat, we use this on the inside. Strawberry slush mat instead of unmatted. I think that might look nicer. What do you think? Let's trim this down. So the end one, I took an 1/8 inch off, or a 1/4 inch off. This one I took an 1/8 inch off of each side. Not that it matters, I guess. Yeah, because our pattern is there. And then this one, I'm just going to take a 1/4 inch off of that outside. Where'd my third piece go? Here we go. So what do we think with the mats? The extra layers to me just kind of give it a more finished look. And then with this on here, well, that just went wonky. And then a cute little sentiment on here. I'm just looking at this color combination. We've got the Secret Sea, the dark in here, but only the bright there. Let me just try something here. Three and 3/4 by 5 1/4. I don't usually layer like a DSP on a DSP, but this might tie some of the colors together better. What do we think of that? Yay or nay? Back to the strawberry slush or keep it with the blues? Strawberry slush or blues? And then what did I do again with all of my little sentiment boxes? I think I moved them for my Saturday class. The blues? Denise, welcome. Sentiments. I'm looking for sentiments. Okay, strawberry, blues, strawberries. You're on your lunch break. Well, I'm glad you popped in. And then if we're going to use this on the inside, we'll have to figure out how that's going to work too. All right, so I think we're 2-to-1. Strawberry slush has the 2 and blues has 1. So let me put it back to the strawberry slush. All right, so now we've got a tie again. See, the only problem that I'm having with this one is that there's blues here, but there's not blues anywhere else. And should I worry about it? Do I need to worry about it? All right, who else wants to join in and give a vote? I could do another one, but not tonight. Because that paper stuff was taxing for me. I had a headache earlier, but it's going away now, so that's a good thing. I took a little bit of Tylenol. The strawberry is beautiful, so we'll do strawberry. Because there's a lot of the strawberry in here. All right, I'm going to go for it because that's... And just the pop of blue in here, right? Okay. So let's move our sketchbook. I'm looking forward to see how that sketchbook shapes up. And I'm going to get my Spotlight on Nature dies out of the way here for a minute. because I have quite a mess that you can't quite see, but it's a disaster. Okay. And then the other thing is there's this little circle. That would look silly. I was going to say we could make a little sun there, but it's too small. All right, so I'm going to start gluing these together without these blue pieces in here. Unless we did All right, so let's go ahead and glue these together. Whoa, that went flying. Strawberry slush is really a nice color. Oops. Guess it would help if I took the lid back off. And I felt if we used the side that had the multiple colors, that it would be too much competition. So that's why I went with the side B for our designer series paper. Juju, did Allie pop into yours? Is she okay today? She's usually here. I don't remember if she had an appointment filled day today or not. I don't remember. She's okay then, I take it? Good. All right. So let's line these up, and I'm actually going to flip my card base over because it's slightly wider than 8.5. So there's a little bit of ridge there, so I want that on the back. There. I'm just looking for my continuous design. It's hard to tell, and it probably wouldn't matter, but I know these were together, and I know those were together. Allie, I was just talking about you. Were you in the balcony listening in? Well, that's all right. You be busy. I just wanted to make sure you were all right. You can carry on. All right, so we'll do that there, and I'm going to put the center one in first, just so we can line up the distance. Have a good night, Juju. Get some good sleep. So Roz, this is why my first card usually takes me so long, is because there's so much contemplation. What should I do? Do I like this or not? So you might be making this card in your next live. Cool. All right, I just lost my picture. Oh, there we go. No, I lost my comments. Oh dear. There we go. That's what happens when I scroll to see the comments, because they don't always show up. Well, thanks, Allie. Yeah, it's a Lori original fly by the seat of your pants kind of design. But we're all here to share. Rosemary, you heading off too? Good night. Thank you for popping in. All right, and then I just need to put a little bit of glue. I might just, there's this itty bitty little layer that peeled. I'm just going to take that off. And then here there was a little bit that separated, but I think that's where we'll put the sentiment. And now I don't remember, I don't think I have adhesive on this side, do I? Did I do adhesive on both sides? I don't remember. My memory's good, it's just short sometimes. I think that might just, I don't remember. I need to get my detailed pick here. Will you have a good night, Rosemary? This backing feels like it might just be cardstock. I don't remember. I think it's just cardstock. I don't think I put more adhesive sheet on the back of there. So we're going to put this, actually, let's do our dimensionals. All right, lower center, lower right. Where do you think it looks best? And if we were really going to follow the challenge, there would be twine across here too. But I think what we could do is some ribbon. And maybe that's where we can bring in some blue. We could do, I'm not really good at this kind of laying out my ribbon, but we'll see. Good night, Yuda. Thank you for popping in. So if we did something like this, I'm not sure if I like both those loops there. Or I could just tuck it around. Maybe we can do that. So if we take a piece of this, trim it. And let's do a little spatula work here. We'll just coerce it under there. That should be all right. Maybe if I try to lift this up a little bit first. do we think of it down there? I just have it lightly sitting there. And then sentiment. Oops, wrong one. So wherever this note finds you, I hope it finds you happy. Could be, oh, I hope you find it happy. Could be on the inside. And we could do that in Secret C also. See how this all looks. This is a horrible mess. Where the rest of my paper pack is, there it is. I'll just clean off some of the stuff so I don't look quite so messy. My goodness, I just looked up and thought, oh my gosh, crazy. Very nice. I'm going to get that out of the way. Actually, I'm going to close it. And then let's trim this down a little bit. What do you think of having it up there? Or should we move this up a little higher? Maybe so it's in line with the ribbon. And then put this here. What do you think? The sentiment up high. So if I put this back down here, so it kind of looks like a sunburst, and then the sentiment up here. That's kind of where my sentiment low. Okay, so sentiment low, the sunburst up high. Okay. So if I do this more up here, and then this over here, like so. And do I need to fussy cut that, or is it good just blocked? That looks good. Awesome. All right, let me find another little piece of Secret C. We'll see what it looks like framed out. We can pull in just a little bit more of that blue. Okay, where'd my little cutter go? Well, that's crazy. Give me a second here. just want to see what this is going to look like if I have this framed out just a little bit. All right, like it or not, I think I'm going to frame it out because I think that helps the white stand out a little bit. Okay. It's kind of a big sentiment, so that's just a lot of white that's just hanging in midair to me. I'm going to go ahead and press that down. And then I'll put some dimensionals along the bottom here. Oh, well, I'm glad, Allie. So here's I put it on adhesive sheets. So the negative part from this sunburst piece, I'm thinking we can use that on another card. So I kind of left it intact on that adhesive sheet. We may end up using that as well. And then I'm just going to put a little glue on the top here. All right, so let me pull in that sketch again, because this was just kind of a happy accident, but we didn't do a bow, but we did a ribbon for the things there. I could always put a knot on it somewhere over here, but we've got the 3 strips, the circle, and then we added a sentiment because we didn't put the sentiment here. Yeah, this is actually Secret C, so it's not black. Because I use Secret C here, and it's Secret C in the paper, the Designer Series paper as well. Now, if we're going to do the inside with something like this, we'd almost have to cut that, because then we could put the "I hope it finds you happy" in here. Yeah, what do you think? Would that carry in? That would kind of carry in this design to the inside. So if I just take like an inch-ish off. What do you think about that? Because it's nice to have your inside of your card decorated too, right? I had a huge spider in my studio space today too. The body was just bulbous. It didn't move fast though, luckily. So what do we think of this as the inside? Because I didn't glue any of this down. I didn't fix it down. So we went from here to the inside. Does that work, or does that look odd? Help me. What do we think? You think I should keep it? What if we did a whole piece here? Or that's the side we used. Let's of course I could do this and restamp the sentiment there. But that's a lot of pink. I was thinking if I cut this out here, that might work. It's good to be different sometimes, as long as it doesn't look crazy. Let's just see. There's another piece we could use. Oops. So does that pull it together a little bit better? I think that might work. Okay, we're in. So I'm going to glue this piece on first. This one might be adhesive sheet front and back, huh? I wish I remembered. It feels like it might be adhesive sheet. I should have maybe written on it. No, it might just be cardstock. It just feels different. So I'm just going to glue it. It's not like it's going to come apart, right? Okay, thank you. I just couldn't remember. I think I thought about putting it on the back side, but then figured I didn't need to because we were going to put it up on dimensionals. Yeah. That's kind of pretty too. All right. Oh, now that could be a fun idea. Take that paper, flip it over. Huh. See, so many ideas when you just fly by the seat of your pants. Well, let's not put glue on the wrong side, though. That would have been unfortunate. I'm not sure I would have been able to fix that. I would have had to have done it over. And that would definitely be unfortunate. Okay, I think that works. A little bit of extra glue there. It kind of flows to me. Even though this one is going sideways and this one's going up and out, I think it's okay. And I like how all of these pieces just lay flat and give a really cool design. And it's hard to tell. I mean, just looking at it, if you just glanced at it, it's not obviously paper pieced because they are all flat. They're just all flush against each other. You made some cards tonight using this die for your senior class for tomorrow. That is funny. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, since I have these inks and everything out, is I'm going to do our little angel policy stamping on the back here. Handcrafted from the heart. Now I know there's a newer one, and I'm pretty positive I ordered it, but I don't remember what it was, and so it's probably filed alphabetically with all of my things. All right, so cool. I like it. But I think it needs some kind of element. Maybe a little nautical something or other up here, tucked away. Let's get some glue dots. Where do I want to put that? I'm just rolling these like little burritos. And again, for these elements, it doesn't matter which side is up because there is not a right and a wrong side. They just look beautiful on both sides. Yeah, you do yours by theme. I know quite a few people that do them by theme. I do mine, my new ones are alphabetically. Well, even my old ones are alphabetically. I've thought about sorting them into, you know, birthday, Christmas, whatever, but I never got around to it. I like it. That turned out all right. It was a little bit of a struggle, but I think it turned out all right. So let's look at these a little bit. And I have some Secret C, but again, my circles might not be big enough if we're going to use a die around them. So my circles are not quite big enough, so I need bigger pieces of Secret C. So I think if I do 3.5 square ought to do it. Well, thank you, Allie. There's quite a few little bits in here that didn't come out. It just randomly happened to kind of meld in with that sketch challenge from Sunday. Okay, I think that'll work. So if I do 3.5 by like 7. And if I get an adhesive sheet, with these adhesive sheets, mine are kind of curled, so if I flip it upside down, it's easier for me to make sure that it's straight. And I'm doing 3.5. Well, this was definitely an original design. I just was looking and thought it would be fun to do those pieces. Flipped over like that. You know, just do your strips, cut them diagonally, and then alternate them with the colors. Okay, Allie, that might be what my phone was just dinging, huh? Oh, there's a separator in here. I don't know why I forget. Let's just do this once and see if this works a little bit better. We'll just peel off one side of it first. And then peel off the other side and see if that works any better. Like the old contact paper. That wasn't too bad. All right, so let's go ahead and cut these two out. Yeah, it worked out all right. Usually I don't have pieces that are quite that long. So I'm lining this up so I'm sure I've got enough border on my paper. Because I'm not going to run my dies through at the same time. That Spotlight on Nature die I'm not going to send through at the same time because they kind of overlap and I do not want to ruin my dies. I thought I saw another demonstrator do them like this one seems like it wants to fit. I'm just afraid. Like I said, I don't want to ruin my dies. My dies are too important to me and we spend a lot of, you know, a lot of money on our supplies so we can make pretty things for everybody. Yeah, I think Roz said she wouldn't do it either. I thought that's how I saw that other demonstrator do it, though. I'm like, ooh, that's very brave. Unless she had a different set of dies. I thought it was the Spotlight on Nature. All right. So this doesn't cut the design all the way out, right? So that's why we're going to put this die here to cut out a circle. And it should be pretty easy to center it because there's some lines there from the other die. And then I think it'll kind of look a little bit like a galley port window, you know? Maybe I should take this out after all. That might help a little bit more. I guess right to the edge will work. Then I don't have to worry about trying to center it, because when I looked at the back, it does go right to the edge. Where did my other piece of masking tape go? Oh, it's on my other die. All right, and then this one I'm just gonna let sit here for a second. And now, instead of like a whole card front piece, how it was kind of intended, we're going to have just a circular piece. Isn't that pretty? And then we'll do the same thing with this one. After I get some of these little bits out. I don't like to run it through when I've got bits still stuck in the die crevices, because sometimes it doesn't cut all the way through your paper then. So I like to have the most likely chance of success when I do my dies. Sometimes I can just bounce it on that glass piece and it just comes right out, but I think because I've got the adhesive sheets on, it's sticking a little bit more than normal. Yeah, these are kind of, they're like hanging chads. They don't want to drop out. And if I wasn't doing another one, I wouldn't bother to do this right now. I would save it for later, but because we're doing another card or another design, I'm going to make sure that we're good to go here. There we go. All right, I'll finish cleaning that one out later. And then let's take some of these little bits out. Now with these little pieces here, we could use those as little water pieces here too, because they're curvy, kind of cool. Now these little bits might pull out when I take off that adhesive sheet, but I didn't want to bank on it, you know. All right. So this one, maybe they'll come out when we take off the adhesive sheet. I'm going to try to punch them through to the front, I think. So I think what I want to do with this lighthouse piece is cut a crushed curry piece to go behind just the lighthouse. I'm going to get my silicone sheet out here. And we're going to save these. I'm going to get rid of these other pieces. We've got a few pieces here we can take out also. I think that's everything for that one. Okay, now let's take a look here. I want to find a piece of crushed curry. And I'm just going to I think we'll just kind of cut it out here. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to have some light behind there. And then let's see how far down we need to have that go. So I need to have it go to about here. We'll just eyeball it and see how it works. And if it doesn't work for us, it's all right, it's only paper. So I think that'll work there. I just need to trim, excuse me, I need to trim a little bit more off of the bottom here. Excuse me. I think that might work. Cool. That worked. And then if we're going to do, yeah, this one's going to go on here. Now I could have used some of those pieces here and added to make them look like more rocks, I suppose. It didn't occur to me for that one because they're a little more rugged looking. This one I'm just going to cut these weird edges off here. And let's see what kind of colors we have for this. That might work. This paper is so pretty. So what I think I want to do is, what do I want to do? Do I want to just cut circles for these to have them backed by the paper and then put them on plain cardstock? Ooh. There, what do we think of that? Oh, I kind of like that. That was a leftover piece we used from that first card. I kind of like how that looks. Do you agree? Does that work? Oh, even that is kind of pretty without the shimmer paper. And just maybe a sentiment on there. What do you think of that? We might need to do that for this too. Just cut. Let's put this here. Let's see if this will go through here. I'm going to walk this over to my other machine so I don't have to disrupt the table again. I'm kind of liking that too. Let me get another piece of Secret Seed. You just never know what's going to happen with the fly by the seat of your pants episodes, hey? You just never know where creativity is going to take us. Thanks for the hearts. I appreciate it. Those of you that have come in late, Allie, I just got your picture. Tanya, welcome. For those of you that came in late, we're just playing with the Sunset Coast stuff and trying to see what we like. And we're kind of liking this here. I suppose I need to keep my water level though, right? And then if we do this, and let's see. About taking away some of that dark there. Yeah, I just got one other one, Allie, so I don't know how many you sent, but I just noticed that one you sent just now. What do we think of that? That looks a little plain. That would be too bright. So that's about 3 inches. So 3 inches. I don't like that one. Let's just, oh, let me think. This one will put a sentiment on, and it might be okay. And this one, maybe that's okay that way. Maybe a knot ribbon. That might kind of work. So let's see here. I'm just trying to decide. It looks like it needs something to me, you know? Notes. think textured notes are retired, huh? Yep. All right, so textured notes I guess we won't use. I haven't gone all the way through my retired stuff. Birds. There are birds. What color should we make our birds? For this one, they could be the secret sea. Let's get a little one out here. We could probably put some little seashells out here on like this one too. We could put some seashells down here in the iridescent paper. That might be kind of pretty for something different, something unexpected. And this I'll use not tonight, somewhere else. I'll figure it out. Oh, luckily that's got adhesive on the back of it. Perfect. I was just thinking I should put some adhesive sheets on the back of there. Good call, Allie. So looks like this one's going like this, according to the die. That one's kind of weird, but that's how it's going. It's like flying sideways. I think that one could work like that. What do you think? And I just wonder if I made this smaller and if I did this layer behind it. Let's see what that looks like. So with this one, envision it like this, all the way around. I'm doing it. All right, so that's 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm gonna make this 3 3/4 by 5. Try not to lose anything here. Bird, 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 bird here. Okay, I'm gonna glue these together. I think that's gonna work. It's a shame to hide the shimmering paper that's on the main side, but these back sides have some really pretty coloring on them too. I just felt like this one needed a little border to make it stand out a little bit. little bit of wiggle room because I used the glue. All right, time for our first alley-oop of the night. I had too many different layers before. Now this one has a little jagged edge down at the bottom. I don't think it's my blade because my other papers have come out clean. I think it's probably the paper, but I'll just take my little emery board and scuff those off. Alley-oop. And then this little piece I want to line up just a little bit better. It's got that adhesive sheet on it. There's a little bit showing through, but I'm not too worried about it with the other backing piece. With that other layer, you know. I think it'll be all right. I do need to put a little bit of glue here, though, on the lighthouse, since I put that other Designer Series paper here. Oops. A couple more here that need to come out. And then I'm going to put this up on dimensionals. I'm going to alley-oop this a little bit, though. Make sure that adhesive sheet is stuck on there pretty good. All right. I had dimensionals here somewhere. There they are. Oh, I forgot my knot. And I'm probably not going to be able to tuck it because I was pretty aggressive with my alley-oop in there. Come on. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? Phew. Okay. Crisis averted. I think that looks pretty level. Let's find our little birds here. Take those backings off. Okay, come on here. There we go. Yeah, the seagulls was a good idea. And then a little sentiment. What do we have? The other sentiments that are with this group, or with this set, You Brighten My Day. That's a good one. I may have to do a little cut apart though. Because that's not going to quite fit there. Unless we just do another little circle on there. That would work. That might work. Let's see what we've got as far as our Spotlight on Nature dies here. If we have another one that's sized right, that one's going to be too big. Although if we had it coming, we could have it trimmed out and come under there. Let's do that once and just see how it looks. Okay, so now if we wanted this sentiment on here, let's get the secret C again. And I'm going to put that kind of down at the bottom here. And then if we were to tuck that under there, if we took if we just took that and cut that maybe to tuck it under, I probably have to go like that. Let's try it and see. Sometimes it's all about experimenting. That doesn't work because my knot's in the way. All right, so we'll have to do something different here. But it was a good idea. It could have worked had I planned ahead. So let's fussy cut this and just see how it looks fussy cut. Sorry, I always get quiet when I'm fussy cutting, don't I? There's not much to narrate when you're saying, oh, I'm just cutting around the curve here. I don't think I like that either. I think I want just a straight, something straighter. I don't think I'm gonna like that. I'm gonna have to find a different sentiment because this is not speaking to me. It's a nice sentiment, but the font is not working for my layout. The fact that it says you brighten my day is perfect with that lighthouse though. That could work, but I don't know if I like it. You guys are going to have to tell me what you think. I'm just not sure if that fussy cutting around there is going to work for me. I don't know, it might be all right. What do you think? Anybody? Will you brighten my day on there? No, it doesn't. I don't know that it's talking to me. It almost looks like it cheapens it down to me. So let's see what else we have. could do a thinking of you. Or we could do just have the best day. This is kind of a casual font though. I think I might want something a little more mature looking. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. I'm looking. How about just a little hoping your day is perfect? Because to me, if you're on the water at a lighthouse, it's a good day. I'm going to be brave, I'm going to be daring, I'm going to stamp it right on that paper and hope that I don't ruin it. And if it does get ruined, then we're just going to put a strip over it. I think it'll be all right. I'll just make sure our ink soaks in. Nice. All right, I think that works. And then I'm thinking this other one I'm going to save and finish when I can decide what else I want to do with that. Now again, these little pieces here came from inside this die, and we're going to turn those into water. And what might be fun is using our Dotson waves or those masks. That might work on there. We may try something tomorrow, not today. I think I've tried all I have the energy to try today, but I think we did all right. So this one is still a work in progress. These two are done. I actually really like both of these. And the suggestions of the birds on there, Allie, was awesome. And I'm just wondering if we need another little anchor embellishment on here or not. I think that would be cute. I think we're gonna do it. I think we're gonna do it. Thanks for the hearts. All right, so let's do this. I think that'll work if I put it here. And again, if you came in late, these little anchor trinkets are metal. There is not a right or wrong side because they are made so that there is like no seam. I have to remember to keep a few of these because I think they would make fun jewelry. I kind of wanted to tuck that under here a little bit. That might get hung up too much on that circle there. There. I think that works. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup before I head out of here, but I think these turned out really nice. And this one, we'll figure it out. I think if I use that Waves mask and maybe some white ink, we'll see what it looks like. I'll play with that tomorrow and we'll see. Phew, thanks for your help. Thank you everybody who popped in, and for those that are still hanging out with me, I appreciate it. I appreciate the hearts. I appreciate if you hit the thumbs up on your way out. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe too. That helps me and it doesn't cost you anything. And come back next time because I go on pretty much every night around midnight Central Time. So until next time, happy crafting. Oh, good for you, Allie. You go, girl. Good night, everybody.